Welcome to Wednesdays with Whit on IntellectualRadio.com. I'm here with my lovely co-host, Lesteiner Inspires. And today we have an amazing guest, Miss Lisa D. Adams. Lisa, before we jump into today's topic, which is overcoming disparities while parenting Black youth, help me help my son, can you just tell people a little bit about who you are, what you do?
Oh, sure. First of all, let me just say thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. My name is Lisa D. Adams, your Lisa Maven, and a little bit about me: award-winning author, filmmaker, parent, philanthropist, mentor, coach, the owner of Sections of Self-Love Motivation Academy, and I am a lover of our youth. I am one who support our youth, in especially our at-risk youth, in trying to get them to know that they add value. They have so much to offer if they're willing to listen, if they're willing to allow someone to guide them, and if they're willing to open their hearts and their mind to accept who they really are.
Awesome. And again, thank you for being here. As excited as you are to be here, I am as excited, if not more, to have you. So, in speaking about today's topic, which again is overcoming disparities and parenting Black youth, help me help my son. Why is this messaging so important to you and ultimately important to our listeners?
Well, first of all, it's just so ironic that we did this film last year, and it was not on my things to do list. I should say it was not on my things to do, and God placed it on my heart talking to another parent, and it just snowballed in a wonderful way from that point on. So when I think of what's going on today, when I think of our young men, and even some of the young men that were speaking in the documentary, it's just like, wow, exactly what they were concerned with, what they expressed is what we are dealing with now. And here's the thing, we've been dealing with it all along. It's been ongoing. It's not new. It's not new, but I think it was Will Smith said that you now have the phones for documentation that's showing, because it's been here. Sometimes people didn't want to hear what was going on. They wanted to ignore it. They wanted to kick it up under the rug, but you can no longer kick it up under the rug. This is our reality. Yes, our young men, they're like endangered species. That's how I look at them, because they have the little red dot on them, to assassin, to tear them down, anything to keep them from growing, from soaring. How quick does the news go viral when it's something bad? It spread it quickly. But when they're doing awesome things, it's a trickling effect.
Mm-hmm.
It trickles down. So we have to build up our young men. I have 2 sons, and just to even now, and the oldest one is in his 30s, and I have one that hit 30 this year. I still worry about them. My grandson, I still worry about them. And I can't so much as tell a 30-year-old you can't go outside.
Right.
They don't live in your household. You can't say you can't go outside or anything like that. But I'll call and say, hey, what you doing? Where you at? What you been up to? Just feeling my way through. Where you going? You in the house today? Just things like that. So it keeps my worry at a level when you say, ooh, I'm tired. I'm just laid back. I'm enjoying it, because then you laid back, I can lay back. I ain't got to
Right.
worry about you. I know where you at, or like, oh, where y'all going? What y'all doing today? So all of that plays a role. And with my grandson is 16, and he'd be quick to tell me, um, he'll be quick to say, Grandma, you worry too much. No, this is how we do it. This is how we do it now. And I'm like, hate that word. This is that phrase. This is how we do things now. No, no, so their lives matter to me. To see them grow up into respectable young men and citizens who add value to the world because they're smart, they're creative. And so I want to see this grow. And the only way to see it grow is we have to hear from them.
You said something that I want to really hone in on. This is how we do it now, and how you kind of cringe at them saying, this is how we do it now. So do you think, in your own opinion, and Lesteiner, you can jump in too because you have sons, but do you ladies think that it's more difficult to parent a young Black man today as opposed to maybe when you were growing up and times were a little different?
So I'll chime in on that one. I think that the difficulties are the same. It's just a different aspect of how it looks. So, we all say, like, you hear parents say, like, oh, back in my day it was, certain things didn't happen. But I think that certain things that we're seeing now have been happening since before we were born. It's just manifest in different ways. And we're seeing more of it spoken out now, just because of the fact that our youth and the generation we have now are more verbal. This is not okay. We don't like this. And so with parenting now, for me, having young men, I will say that I've learned to not have that mentality of you need to be just seen and not heard. No, you need to be heard. Your voice matters. How you feel matters. Because how do we change something? How do we make your environment, your community better if we don't actually listen to what you have to say? And I think silencing them should no longer be an option. We need to hear from them, because what we're seeing now in the world, what we're seeing, what everyone has an opinion about the looting and stuff that's happening, well, they're angry. They're expressing it, even though it's in the wrong way. This is them expressing what they've been told to silence for so long, because that's the way it is. That don't mean it's okay.
Thanks for that. Lisa, what about you? Do you think that it's more difficult now, like you have your grandson, as opposed to maybe when you were raising your children, or about the same?
Well, I actually do think it's a little more different because they have so much at their hands now. So when my sons were younger, all the stuff that they have access to via internet, they didn't have.
Yeah.
They didn't have all of that. And so that's the difference now. But Lesteiner said something about the looting. And everything. So my son and I had this conversation because that was my concern. I understood the writing. I got that. I couldn't get with the looting. And so my son had to give me his intake on it. And his intake was, they are not responding to the protesting. People respond when when it hit their pocket, they respond. And so, okay, yeah. But then I'm still thinking from this aspect too. What about our
Oh, it looks like we may have lost Lisa. That was a really good point she was making, though.
Yes.
And I know that you talked about it earlier on your live about trauma responses. Yeah. So while I'm getting Lisa back on, why don't you just share with everyone about trauma-based responses and maybe why people are responding with the rioting and the looting?
So trauma-based response is a level of how you respond based on how you experience trauma.
Oh,
And
I'm
everyone
sorry, I don't know what happened here.
that's okay. We gonna roll with the flow. So I was just talking about trauma-based responses and what we're seeing. People respond to trauma differently. Some people see trauma and they want to shut down. Some people see trauma and they want to act on it. Other people, want to, gather other people and let's do something about it, or let's pray about it. People respond differently, but what usually happens when people respond, when you see them looting and you see certain things happen, like things being set on fire, is because that's packed on trauma. It's not like they woke up and say, oh, racial injustice, we're about to go set something on fire. They've been experienced this in different levels and in other traumatic experience where their community they live in, maybe from their home environment, has this been packed on, and instead of dealing with it at the root cause because they don't know how to, they explode and it comes out the way we see it. And though it's not healthy, it's still a form of it's a cry for help.
Yes. Thanks, Lestiner.
You're welcome.
Uh-oh. Lisa then got left again, child.
Oh no. Lisa might come back.
Listen, I said earlier before we hit that live, we were having some tech difficulties, and I was saying, like, this is such an important message that the enemy is like trying everything to stop it, but we just keep going. Okay. Yes. And we got Lisa back.
Yeah,
welcome back.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
That's all right.
I have no clue what's going on. Satan is trying to stop this message from going on, but I declare for him to go back to the pits of hell where he came from.
Amen.
We will continue. We will continue in Jesus' name.
Yes,
Satan, you have no place. It will go forth whether you like it or not. Even if people have to figure it out in the mumble verses, God will prevail what we're trying to say.
Yes.
No.
That's right. No. This is sealed because this is such an important conversation. And I've even seen in the comments other people saying how they feel the same way with their own sons about checking in and making sure that they're okay. And before you had to leave us, Lisa, you were making a point about what your son shared with regard to rioting and looting and how they respond when it hits their pockets. Was there anything else you wanted to add to that?
Well, he just said to me that, you know what, hitting their pockets make them react. When people lose the money, they react, and they'll do some things different then because now their livelihoods are affected. So my conversation.
Oh, that's a powerful message. My God.
We're going to still put the message out there because it needs to be heard, okay?
Yeah, so you were part of the documentary that Lisa put together, which is Help Me, Help My Son. When you got the invitation to do the documentary, just talk to us about that conversation that day and the decision to say, yes, me and my son will do this.
Well, first of all, I love Lisa, but when she explained the message, the mission, the purpose behind it, I have 3 young Black men that I, fight in the spirit and fight in the physical for, and they have voices. And I wanted to be a part of this movement, this change, because our Black men, our young men, are supposed to be the head of the house. But if they're being broken down, tore down before they can even grow up to be men, then what happens to the household? And so for me, it was like a yes, period, amen. And I was very honored to be a part of it.
Awesome. So across the screen, you all will see that today's sponsor is Lisa D. Adams of the Lisa D. Adams Group. Lisa will be joining us momentarily, but I want to just give a little bit about what she's doing to help at-risk youth. And so Lisa D. Adams, the CEO of the Lisa Adams Group, is an award-winning author, actress, filmmaker, leader, self-love, and inspirational coach. teacher, mentor, and philanthropist. Empowered by her own lessons, Lisa advocates healthy relationships as a motivational speaker. Her true passion is working with at-risk youth to push past limiting thoughts. You can connect with Lisa at lisa-d-adams.com. And also, if you are interested in having your product or your service featured on Wednesdays with Whit, you can connect with us on whitdevereaux.com/radio show. So today, again, we're talking about overcoming disparities and parenting Black youth, and primarily young Black men in today's society. And Lesteiner and our guest Lisa both have sons. So Lesteiner has 3 sons, and Lisa has 2 sons, and she also shares she has a grandson. I don't have any sons, but I do have a nephew that pretty much grew up like he was my brother because we were so close in age. I think we're about 9 years apart. I was 9 when the twins were born. And so I felt that's my main connection to young Black youth and some of the struggles that he went through growing up. I used to be really worried about him just being outside. He's a tall young man, and sometimes people see that as being intimidating, but he's really very sweet. He like sweet as pie. And so it really just grieves my spirit when I see, and what Lisa was sharing about earlier, that our sons seem to be targets or targeted or looked at as a threat. So Lesteiner, what are you doing right now to help your sons to navigate what's happening right now? Because yours are in different age ranges.
Right.
Talk to us about that.
I have 3 sons, 24, 21, and 15. This conversation, I've had this from they were old enough to like ABCs, and I've explained that, I never taught self-hate. I always taught self-love, but I was always realistic about the world that they were born into, that there will be a time where people will unfortunately judge and not like you because of your skin color. And so since this conversation was always introduced and was open and explained, right now what I'm doing is just checking in. How are you doing? Emotionally, where are you at? My son that's home now with me, who's 15, who was in the movie. Actually, I do well-being checks on him every day anyway. But when this all came about, I asked him, how do you feel about it? I like to let him have a voice to express himself, because as adults, if I'm grieving, and I know I cried over that weekend, I can imagine what he might be feeling. And sometimes it's harder for young men to express their emotions, but I've never been one to tell my young men, don't cry. If you need to cry, I always believe God created tear ducts for everybody. Obviously, you need to cry if He created that. And if this makes you hurt in a way where you need to express it in tears, I'd rather you express it in tears, pen to paper, verbalizing it, than letting it build up and quite possibly you do something you can't take back because now the emotions have turned into anger that's turned into something violent. And so just having that open dialogue of communication, he sees a therapist weekly. So like, hey, if you don't want to talk to me about it, your therapist is to talk about it. I'm a big believer in writing write some rhymes. If you need to write out a rap to express, get that creative juices, pray, talk to God, have a conversation. I like to introduce various avenues because it's more than one way of allowing yourself to heal through this. There's so many different avenues. Let's utilize all of them, sometimes all in one day.
Yes, I love that. And welcome back, Lisa. We have Lisa D. Adams of the Lisa D. Adams Group joining us, and she is today's sponsor for Wednesdays with Whit. Lisa, can you share how you came to the point where you decided that you wanted to specifically help at-risk youth?
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. I'll repeat it. Can you tell us specifically when you decided that you wanted to help at-risk youth?
I heard you say something about at risk youth. Okay, so my passion with at risk youth is because so many times we
Mm.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, this is real life. But again, if you're just tuning in, make sure you share this important message with someone. This is Wednesdays with Whit on IntellectualRadio.com. I'm here with my lovely co-host, Lesteiner Inspires. You on this side. Have to switch it to the other side because of the screen that we are on. And today we are talking about overcoming disparities in parenting Black youth, specifically men. So young boys, teen boys, and young men in today's society. And I was asking Lisa about deciding to help parenting at-risk youth. I know that, Lesteiner, you have done that as well when you were going to the schools and all of that. Where did your passion for helping at-risk youth come from?
I was once an at-risk youth. So to me, it was like a no-brainer. It was like when God allowed me to get through everything I've gone through, I'm like, it's only right to go back, to reach back in a way that I know how. And that's inspiring and mentoring and encouraging and, you know, letting our youth know that you are loved and valued. I wanted to make 3 points because when Lisa was talking, I was just thinking of some things. So our Black young men have, hey, Lisa, you back?
Girl, I had to go to the cell phone. I'm determined Satan is not getting the best of this. You know, I don't, we have no internet connection in our neighborhood right now. So I've been using my hotspot. We've got attacked real bad by the storm, but I refuse to give Satan glory right here. So from any means necessary. So if it goes out again, I keep trying.
Come on now. That's how you fight it in the spirit. You be like, oh, you trying to knock me down? I'm coming back. Period. Amen.
Right. I'm not having this.
Yes. Well, go ahead, Lesteiner, with your 3 points.
So there was 3 things I thought about that when our young Black men are facing the tear down, the breakdown, the triple effect. And it's the society is trying to tear them down, sometimes in their community and sometimes in their homes. Unfortunately, a lot of our youth are in homes where maybe they're not receiving the love they need, the support, because it's generational curses. Maybe their parents and their guardians didn't receive that. So that's three types of tear down, breakdown that's happening to our young Black youth, and they're expected to, you know, grow up and be successful and amazing, and they don't have the same breeding ground that they need to do that, you know, and that can lead to a defeated spirit, you know, where you're just like, well, why even try? And so I just wanted to make that point that I think that it's not just on, because we can always say blame the parents and say, well, you need to raise them better, right? But then when the parents fall short, then as a community, if we see a young man, sometimes if we just see them and say, you know, I like your shirt, or, you know, like I know personally me with my young men, they friends come over, and I had a rule like, pull your pants up in my house. You know, I mean, I love you, but I don't need to see your underwear. No cursing in my house. They had to, you know, be respectful, take off your hats in my house. And they would come back. I'm like, oh, they knew that I cared and loved them, even though I was fussing because I wanted better for them. And I would ask, how was the grades? What was you doing? You know, even to this day, I have grown nephews. I'll be like, make sure you're using condoms. Make sure you're not out in these streets doing what you don't need to do. I said, if I ride past and see you, I'm pulling up. That's the love, though. And I think we have to show that, and we see, instead of judging, because a lot of times we judge, like, oh, look at them. But you don't know where they came from and what resources or support they had to even try to make it through. And then once we give them the fighting and building tools, now they can kind of fight a little bit against the society coming against them. It's not fair, but they'll be able to at least have a fighting chance.
I really like that, and it actually reminded me of something my dad would do when the guys would come to the house. Like, take that hat off. They'd hurry up taking off their hat. Some people, they didn't understand because, you know, in their household, you can be in the house with your hat on and all that. But they knew once they stepped foot up in our spot, you take that hat off, you show your respect. And so that just warmed my heart, made me think about my dad. So thanks for sharing that, Steiner. Yes. Lisa, I know that you're back, so I just wanted to give you opportunity to continue to share about what specifically got you into wanting to help at-risk youth.
Well, it's exactly what Steiner was saying. So many of them come from different backgrounds. They're not receiving the love that's needed to nurture them, at home. So, and it's not bad parenting. You did what you know how to do. You did what you know how to do at that particular time. I'm guilty of doing only what I knew how to do at that particular time. Now, as I look back on some things, that was not such a good idea. But at that particular time, I was doing the best that I could. I thought I was doing right. And so some of them believe in tough love when it's really emotional abuse.
Yes.
They do not believe in celebrating even the little things. Finding the little things to celebrate. They don't understand what that does for self-esteem. Or just talking to them. So like in our household, game night was huge for us. So we connect. So if we have outsiders who family don't sit around and play games, maybe their family gatherings was drinking or whatever the case may be. But ours was, I'm gonna beat you down with upwards. Because I'm not going to let you defeat me in upwards. You're not going to beat me in Uno. So those were our moments. But if they don't know, how do we expect them to show something that they know nothing of? They've never been exposed to it. But we're judging them and not knowing what's really going on. We don't know what's behind the scenes. We don't know what he had to get through just to get to the school. Yes, his pants hanging down, which is something I really dislike. But what's happening? Why is his pants hanging down? Can we have a conversation with them, before judging? Sometimes all you have to do is say hello. Look them in the eye and say hello.
That's good.
Sometimes we need to just pass them on the street opposed to crossing the street. Because we're talking about other races fearing us. We fear us. We fear us. Young, old, middle age. We fear us. I'm guilty. We fear us. We look at them. We look at their hair. We look at the dress. We look at the hoodies. We look at the saggy pants. And now we have given them a label that does not necessarily fit them.
Come on now.
Just because they looked like something that reminded us of something else. But that is not the case for all of our men. All of our young men are not gangbangers. All our young men are not out there smoking, drinking, and robbing folks. They're not. Some of them just waiting on somebody else to say, you know what? You got this. You're gonna get through this.
Exactly.
And I'm really glad. I want to stop you there because you actually lead into my next question. I want to make sure that people know what you're doing with Help Me Help My Son to change that narrative, to change how people view them and how they may be afraid, how we may be afraid if we see them approaching us and want to cross the street. So Help Me Help My Son documentary, which you created, you filmed, Steiner was an actress, your sons and everything were in there. Can you tell us just more about the documentary and the actual process you went through when creating it so that you can change that narrative?
Well, first of all, we want to get to know them. As a parent of a Black African American sons, again, I didn't have all the answers, so I needed some help, but I didn't always seek help. So what helped me help my son did, we took it from various levels. We used our single moms. We used our full families. We spoke to the teachers, ministers, and the mentors. And most importantly, we spoke to the young men. One thing these young men had in common that pretty much sums it all: allow me to use the tools that you have implanted in me to go on with life. You have taught me some things, Mom. You have taught me some things, Dad. And I heard you even when you thought I was not listening. I heard you. Allow me to fall and know that I'm going to get up. You don't have to worry about me. I am a believer in God. I may not call God. You don't hear me saying God, God, God every few minutes. I believe it because you taught me to believe. So I'm okay, Mom. You could get you some rest because I'm ready to do this thing. And so it brought it from all aspects. We had the young men. I had one young man that he was not really willing to participate. His mom said he would, but the day of filming, he was like, no. What is this about? Didn't nobody tell me this, that, and the other? So we had to have a conversation. Now, just so happened, I have a bond with him, but we had to have a conversation. And our conversation, it was just him and I. And it was, do you trust me? Do you trust me? He's like, yeah, Lisa, but no buts. Do you trust me? Have I ever let you down? I've told you when you was wrong. I've treated you like my son. So in other words, don't make me get you in that place. So I treated you like that. You said, Lisa, I need something, and I'm there. So have I ever let you down? You can trust me. And he said, I'm going to do it. But she can't be in there. So some of them didn't feel comfortable speaking with their parents available. And we was able to get more out of him once we had his mom to go into another room. We have another young man who's his father is a pastor, and he said that he relates to people in his music. And so my response, so that's your way of ministry? He said, yes, that's my way. I'm not like him, pointing to his dad as the minister. I'm not like him. I'm me, but I can relate to you in this manner. Don't get me twisted with what he does behind the pulpit. That's him, I'm me. So they want to be identified as themselves. These are unique young men. Allow me to be me. Allow me to share my story. Allow me to feel what I feel. Allow me to express myself. And so that's what helped me help my son. It gave an open door for them to be able to express themselves. And we're still keeping the movement going. We're still having the conversation out there that we're still talking about. And then I have other things that's ready to go on will help me help my son.
Okay, good. I'm really glad that you were able to just speak to him and use the relationship that you had with him to get him to open up and feel safe. Like this is a space for you to just truly be yourself and be heard. I think sometimes people don't want to speak because they feel like you're not going to hear what I have to say anyway. You don't really care. I don't want to be judged for what I'm going to say. So I really like that you were able to speak with him and just talk to him on his level and then ultimately get him involved. And so where can listeners watch or even learn more about the documentary, Help Me Help My Son?
Well, we're in the patch that it will be in the cup, but it is coming in, in
Um,
also be
oh, you know, we gotta laugh to keep from crying. Like, is this really happening? Lisa, we heard like every 5 words in slow motion.
I'm sorry, I'm over here in tears.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is real life, okay?
Well, I can answer that because I know a little bit about Lisa's documentary. And actually, all of the actors or the people that were in the documentary are now considered to be actors because they were featured in the Help Me Help My Son documentary, which includes Liz Steiner and her son, Tori Martinez. And so if you go on, is it imdb.com?
Yeah.
Yes, imdb.com. And I'll come back in the comments and drop that link. But imdb.com, you'll be able to learn more about Help Me Help My Son documentary. It was premiered on March 8th at the Studio Movie Grill here in Chicago in the Chatham area. And I know that originally they wanted to run it throughout the summer pre-COVID-19. So once it is safe and it's clear, then they'll start to re-air the Help Me Help My Son documentary. Lisa, you back with us? We had a couple tech issues, so I thank you all who have stuck with us and tuned in for Wednesdays with Whit. To remain connected to Lisa after this, you can also go on lisa-d-adams.com. It's flashing across the screen now. I want to just continue on since, like I said, Liz Steiner was one of the actresses in the documentary. Can you just share what it was like to discuss such personal information and how you two even got connected?
So I will start by how we got connected. I just love Lisa, and I call it divine connection. God connects with us with the people that he needs in our life for a purpose, mission, reason, season, lifetime. And I would like to think that she's a lifetimer, like she ain't going nowhere, period, amen. But we are both award-winning authors, and I met her through APS International on the book tour, and just loved her personality. We connected, and so the experience with filming, at first I was nervous because even though I'm a speaker and I'm a big advocate for a lot of different things, being in front of the camera, I was like, whoa, what's that like? But she made it so inviting. I mean, she fed me, and I love to eat. My son, at first he was hesitant about doing it, but I explained the purpose behind it. And I'm like, this will be an awesome chance for you to really use your voice for good. And to speak out about certain things that maybe you normally wouldn't talk out about. I was most impressed by him because I do this for a living, speaking, but his poise and his words, I was like, that's my son. Yes. Period. Amen. I'm like, can I get an autograph? I was so proud of him, and he did amazing. I was just really impressed with him. And so that did my heart. Like I didn't want to get teary-eyed because, I'm a crier. When I get happy, sad, I'll just cry. But I was really proud of him for feeling comfortable enough to be himself and to speak maturely, but just without hesitation about how he felt about certain things. And I loved it. And it also made me realize that you know, like Lisa said, I have to let him go enough to know that the tools I gave him, he's going to use appropriately. And in that moment, I realized that, like, oh, okay. So that was my experience. And then seeing it on film, like actual in the movie theater, made it real. I was like, oh, I am an actress. You are an actor. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So thank you,
all
Lisa.
have
Oh,
your look. You all have your names in the independent movie as actors. Did y'all hear?
yeah, we heard you. I'm gonna start introducing myself as an actress. I'm like, I'm a award-winning award-winning author and an actress. I be forgetting sometimes.
Yes, ma'am.
Not after today, though. Thank you, Lisa Adams. Thank you, Lisa D. Adams. You just made my ego this big. I can't fit through the room now.
Absolutely.
We've got some commentary here saying that it was an awesome documentary from some of our viewers. Yeah. So I hear that you also created a course, Lisa, to teach others how to create their own films. Can you tell us more about the course and how others may be able to sign up or join?
Absolutely. The course is called Fundamentals of Getting My Life on the Big Screen. And you can go to bit.ly/life on the big screen. That's bit.ly/life on the big screen. And it'll take you right to the course. The course will begin on the 18th of June. And we go on everybody.
Have you noticed that you've got a lot of people reaching out that say, hey, I want to make a documentary? Is that why you decided to create the course?
Well, one of my
You may have to come back in, Lisa. We didn't get that, but I'll repeat the link for anyone who's interested in learning how to create their own documentary. We've also put it in the comment section, but it's bit.ly/life on the big screen. So that's bit.ly/life on the big screen. And you'll be able to learn how to make your own documentary. So I know we have some authors that are in the comment section. Maybe you're thinking about turning your book into a play or a film. This is definitely a course that would be for you because Lisa's done it. Liz Steiner, she was an actress in it. And Lisa has the course for you. So you want to hop on now while it's still at a nice affordable price, because I'm sure that it won't stay as low as it is right now. So the way to sign up is down in the comment section. And then also to remain connected to Lisa, you can see on the screen, it says lisa-d-adams.com. I know for myself, I had my daughters there and my mother was there, and we were so excited to be able to see people that we knew on the screen. So you all were in it, but we were watching, and we were just excited to know people who were doing such an amazing work, right? My children were like, oh my goodness, Tori's on TV. You know, that's Liz Steiner's son. And they were so proud of Liz Steiner as well. And I know that it inspires children to be able to see people that look like them on the screen. Like, that's a movie theater that we go to often to see other people we have no connection to. But to be able to go to a local movie theater, which was Studio Movie Grill, again in Chatham in the Chicago area, we were able to really take from that experience that anything is possible, right? If you have a dream, whether it's to be a writer, whether it's to be a filmmaker, whatever it is, you can do it. Why? Because we see our friends doing it. We see mommy's friend doing it. We see a young man that's the same age as me on the screen and not just in the audience, right? It just really meant a whole lot. And I don't know that I cried. I'm a crier too, like Steiner, but I think I was just so excited that overshadowed any tears. I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. Lisa, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Girl, it's been a journey, but I'm coming back. I'm coming
Yes. Well, we were able to give everyone the information about how they can sign up for the Life on the Big Screen. I want to make sure that they know, since the class is starting on what day? Can you repeat the day that it's starting?
June 18th.
June 18th. Okay. So yes, the question that I had earlier, are you still accepting individuals? So yes, June 18th is coming. That's next week. So don't delay. Like I said, I know some of you in the comments, some of our listeners, some of our viewers are entrepreneurs. You are creatives. You have books. You have things that you might want to turn into film. So why not learn from someone who is doing it, has done it, and not only did it, but did it very well. Right. So yes, it was sold out. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Everybody can't say that. That's amazing. It was premiered again, like I said, on March 8th. And it was just really, really exciting to be there. So do you have a direct line of communication that you want people to connect with you on? Like an email or a phone number? Or you just want to direct them to the website?
Well, they can do both. So the email address, if you will use ldadamsenterprise@gmail.com. Again, that's ldadamsenterprise@gmail.com. Or you could go to the page that was given, the bit.ly/life on the big screen, and then or inbox me, direct message me on help me help my son. That was on that page. You can always direct message me if you have any questions regarding a course. I'll be more than happy to assist you. I am looking forward to teaching this class and having some fun. And again, just like we just said, there are no limitations to what we can do. Nothing. You don't even have to have the experience. When God plants it in you, He would qualify you, He would validate you, and give you the support that you need to get it done. The finances, all of the above. He would do it if you allow Him and be willing to go and trust, even if you don't know.
Amen. Amen. I am a witness. We are so grateful to have Lisa D. Adams of the Lisa D. Adams Group as our sponsor for today. Can you tell us what you're currently doing to help families who need the help and who need the support with their sons and raising Black youth today?
Well, what I'm working on, I am still keeping the conversation going. So I will be, that's one of the things. And so what I want to do, and I've reached out to some of our young men, but they haven't took a hold to the bait, and I'm going to redo it because I'm not going to stop just because they said no the first time. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back to it. So what my desire to do is to make it into a 12-course series. And I wanted the help of our young men in to get
Okay. Well, Lisa, she still has a lot of different things that she's doing for the youth. So if you have a young man in your home, in your life, that needs help, needs some support, needs some guidance, or they overcame certain struggles, maybe they were once at-risk youth and now they're giving back and helping, definitely connect with Lisa. Again, across the screen, you'll be able to see our sponsor's information for today, which is lisa-d-adams.com. And she also has her email in the comment section. I want to make sure that you all connect because it's summertime. Some children are still in school, so parents are balancing having the children at home, and they're the teacher. They're on top of all the other titles and responsibilities that we have. So if you need support is available, and we want to make sure that you connect with Lisa. I'm sure we'll have her back again in the future. You can follow her on social media at Help Me Help My Son. I know that Lesteiner has some different things coming up, so I want to give her the space to just share what she's doing to help with trauma, domestic violence, and just healing, because right now trauma is at an all-time high.
Yes.
And we have to do our healing work, whether we want to or not. Like, if you don't, you will succumb to all of these things that are going on. So, Lesteiner, please take it away.
So I am pleased to announce that my second installment for this year, 2020, of the Healing is a Journey conference series webinar platform will be next Saturday, June 20th at 12 noon Central Standard Time. And this topic, which God knew what he was doing, is overcoming fear with faith. And specifically fear that's been introduced via trauma. And as Whit said, we're in a time now where trauma and fear and anxiety and stress and everything is at an all-time high. And so I want to do my part for the kingdom of God and the people of God, which is all of us, to provide a platform where you can get the support, the solution, the resources, and the sense of community that you would need to help you to start to process what's going on and start to heal through it all. And so I have some amazing speakers with an S. I myself I'm one of the speakers. Usually I don't speak, but the Lord told me I need to, because I've been experiencing my own personal trauma and he's been helping me through it. My lovely co-host with Deborah is also the host of this. She's host. I love her. We also have a great sponsor, TGIN, where you will get this cute little care package in your swag bag. Oh, and did I mention you get a swag bag that includes this best-selling book? Ooh. And so you also get a downloadable Overcoming Fear worksheet, and you get the webinar replay link so you can rewatch it and rewatch it again if you need to. Guess how much all that is, y'all? $25. Oh, I say that's a steal. I mean, come on now. You're getting something that's gonna literally last you a lifetime. And so seats are still available. You want to register today before they fill up. The link to register is bit.ly/HIAJLIVE. Once again, bit.ly/HIAJLIVE. Register today. I would love to have you guys as our special guests. We might have some cool surprises for you too. We do have some featured vendors. So, I'm just doing my part to help those who've gone through trauma and abuse, because I know how that feels. And this time is like Whit says, all-time high. And we need as much support as we can get in this time to be able to further our journey along. Either you starting it, or you're recontinuing it, or you're moving forward. Either way, it's still a journey, and we are here to help you.
Yes, and I'm excited about it. I don't think that any of this is by coincidence. I had posted on Instagram just some thoughts I had about trauma, how we are traumatized almost daily at this point by the news. Even if you're trying to scroll social media just to get some relief, and get something funny from one funny thing, you watching somebody get killed. Like, it literally happens in the blink of a scroll, literally. And so we are constantly being traumatized. So what do we do with all of that trauma? How do we recover? How do we cope? how do we fix it? How do we help somebody through this? And I don't, like I said, I don't think it's a coincidence that this was scheduled last year. Lasina, God gave her these dates last year for 2020. We had no idea that 2020 was going to be on and popping had it at all. And we had no idea. We were supposed to be in Tennessee for this particular stop. However, God is yet in control, and I believe he knows what his people need. So overcoming fear with faith is next Saturday, June 20th, 2020, starting at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can register on Eventbrite. You can learn more at the link, which is featured here on the screen. It's bit.ly/HIAJ live. So thank you again to Lisa for being our special guest. Thank you to my lovely co-host for sharing her resources, because it truly takes a village. We all need a village of support to get through this. So if you are interested in having your product or your service featured, or you just want to come hang out with us on Wednesdays with Whit, please connect with us on whitdevereaux.com/radio show. We look forward to having you. You all have a great day. Bye-bye.